oration is being delivered today by Frank Keegan on behalf of the Maureen Keegan Memorial Committee. Frank Keegan to deliver the oration.
I feel humbled and very privileged and very inadequate, I must say, at having been asked to give this oration here today. During the course of one's life, a person crosses paths with different people over a long period. And in my own particular experience, I crossed paths briefly with Maureen Keegan. And Maureen Keegan come to my assistance unconditionally, unreservedly, at a time when I and other agencies, Maureen Keegan stood up to be counted, and for that I will be forever grateful. It is fitting that we come here at Easter time to honour Maureen. Easter holds that very special significance for Republicans. It is a time when we honour not just the rising of 1916 and the sacrifices, but also the suffering of all those who strived and sometimes died in their efforts that freedom and justice could be attained on this island. The efforts of Irish women in the struggle for freedom and independence have not always been recognised, but hopefully this situation will one day be resolved. Maureen Keegan's efforts and sacrifices have not been ignored, and she truly stands out as a woman of the revolution. 81 years ago, a small army of volunteers took on the might of the British Empire here in Dublin. And Pearse at the GPO declared Ireland's right to national sovereignty and freedom by force of arms. Pearse was following a tradition set by Wolfe Tone, and later on the Fenians, the Invincibles, and in the post-1916 period this tradition was carried on by the IRA right to the present day. It was carried on briefly by Saor Eire, and it was Maureen Keegan's tradition. Maureen adhered to the principles of Pearse and Connolly, and like Connolly, her goal was an Irish socialist republic. Long before I first met Maureen, her work for the socialist movement, both nationally and internationally, had taken her to places as diverse as Paris and Corsica. And later on, she was involved in that famous People's Democracy March, which was ambushed by the Paisleyites at Burnintullen. In later days, she acted as secretary to Bernadette Devlin. She was also involved with the Irish Civil Liberties League, the Labour Party, the Dublin Young Socialists, and near the end of her life, she was the Fourth International's organiser for its Irish section. She studied the work of the great revolutionaries, in particular Connolly. She believed in the working class and Republican struggle, and she demonstrated her theoretical and practical adherence to her socialist and Republican principles by her involvement with and sacrifice for Saor Eire. Like the men of 1916, she put her money where her mouth was, so to speak. And like James Connolly, she's seen no conflict of interest. Like Connolly, her goal was an Irish Socialist Republic, and like Connolly, she realised that such a republic could only survive and thrive within a worldwide network of such republics. Because she was an internationalist. A dreamer's charter, perhaps, but who can say that given the right circumstances, the goodwill, the sincerity, the dedication, sacrifices, that the aspirations of Connolly and Maureen Keegan cannot someday be realised. It is imperative on all of us to keep that flag flying. To leave you with some lines from Brian O'Higgins.
Dear friends, there's very little. Thank you. There's little to add to the fine oration made by Frank Keane, but I will say that there are certain tasks that we are simply here to raise this headstone, but not just to honour the dead, however worthy of honour we all agree she was. As I said, the purpose of this ceremony is also an act of defiance of the prevailing zeitgeist that has been imposed by years of Thatcherism and Reaganism, and is still being pushed and is likely to be pushed very strongly on us in the next year in the general election. We must all remember that Maureen was above all an activist, an informed activist, but an activist for all that. We must remember too that the daughter of the woman with whom she worked so closely, the daughter of Bernadette Devlin Macaliski, is at present being railroaded on trumped-up charges and is pregnant, and we must act against this. We must remember that all over the world, in Colombia, in Rwanda, people are being persecuted, and we must try and act to oppose these persecutions. I will not keep you. Thank you.
Roger, we call on the bugler to give. We're laying a wreath on the grave of Liam Walsh.
The daughter of Liam Walsh, Fiona Walsh, to lay the wreath on behalf of Saor Eire.